This route looks awesome. It would definitely be fun. There's no doubt there's some pain involved. You're going to see a little bit of everything that Patagonia's area has to offer, which is incredible.
Yeah, I mean, there has to be, or this thing would kill most people, honestly. Is there anywhere specific you want me looking? I'm like, there's all these things. There's you, there's 2 cameras, there's a light, there's Russell.
Look at Russell.
You and me, Russell. So, my name is Lauren Mason Gear. I moved to Patagonia about 3 years ago. Didn't really have that as a goal. I was just kind of out and about looking for a new place to be. And I kind of came here and never left. This is different stuff than most people do when they come here. At a glance, it's also like, I like routes that make the question of equipment somewhat interesting, you know, like the debate of like what bike to ride or what size tires to ride or whatever. It's kind of got it all. Burnt up cars, cool valleys. There's like really cool rock formations, kind of hoodoos and stuff in Solero that are so distinct from the Patagonia Mountains to the other side. Yeah, I think people have a good time. I think it's like the sort of thing that would feel like an accomplishment. Like if someone came down, whether they did that in 5 hours or 10, it would be like you'd be really stoked when you got into town and like had that knocked off.
So the morning we headed out for this route, started the morning off at my favorite breakfast joint in Patagonia, Gathering Grounds. Some of the best cookies in town, which you might want to take on this ride, as well as some of the best breakfasts in town. Just a good way to start the day, really.
What's it gonna be in 2 hours at start time?
47.
Oh, that's not so bad.
From Gathering Grounds, headed back over to the gravel house to get ready for the day. It's gonna pay dividends later.
Is that Wrightson?
That's Wrightson. It's involved making bottles, doing some last minute bike checks, setting tire pressure for the day, making sure suspension had enough air.
Gatito! Hi! You're a sweet kitty.
I'm Russell Finsterwald, professional off-road cyclist. I race both gravel bikes and mountain bikes for the Trek Driftless program. In doing the Spirit Tour, I got super stoked on all the wide variety of terrain here and just kind of felt like other people might appreciate this style of riding. So kind of Carrie and I wanted to make a video that showcased what these routes are all about and kind of showed the ruggedness you might expect to see out there. And eventually I was like, why don't we just go do this fast?
All right, all the nutrition for today. There's not any stops out there, so gotta be pretty self-sufficient. Let's see, about 4 liters of water. There's nowhere to get water, so it's better to have more than you need.
Like, what are you shooting for? Like 120 grams an hour?
Just a lot, I don't really know. Put 210 in the bladder, plus I'm gonna do 90 in each bottle. That's already 390. 600 minus 390 equals divided by 30. So really we only need 7 gels, but we got 2 emergency gels. Just another day in life.
From town, you can be in the middle of nowhere so quickly. There's only a handful of communities in the Rocky Mountain West that I think provides that kind of access to open space immediately from downtown. Buff gravel, maintained dirt roads, some single track in the Elephant Head area, and one of our favorite roads in the entire region down here on the border of Mexico is Road 143, which is your return back to Patagonia. It's outstanding. It should be ridden alone by most people visiting, but the fact that it's the finishing touch on this route is fantastic. My name is Xander Alt, and I'm co-founder of the Cyclist Menu and the Gravel House in Patagonia, Arizona. I think that this route is totally accessible by most riders, but I do think that there's a certain level of preparedness needed. It's absolutely beautiful, but I would say that it is for the experienced rider, or for folks who are looking to challenge themselves, or be with a group of friends who want to challenge themselves, and knowing that that'll be the case.
I think for this route, just since it is a little more rowdy than your average gravel route, bike setup kind of needs to reflect that. So a few of the changes I made for it, put the suspension fork on. I wouldn't say that's something that's absolutely mandatory for it, but after riding the Spirit Tour this year, I felt it would be nice to have for this. So I'll be rocking the fork. I think for tires on something like this, a 45 is kind of like the absolute minimum you should do it on. Anything less would just kind of be a little miserable. I'm using Race King 2.0s, so roughly a 50. But I honestly would just put as big of a tire as you can in your bike. Chainring size, I typically run a 48 or a 50 in gravel, but I've gone down to a 46 today. There's just a lot of really steep climbs where you're gonna be pretty wide open to just make it up, slash there might be a little bit of hike a bike here and there. So I think we're done out here then.
All right, good, because it's cold.
How are we doing on time?
I don't know if we're gonna make the 10 a.m. departure.
Dude, 24 minutes?
You can do that?
Can you do that? Can you?
I guess we're gonna try.
All right, so bike's good to go. There was a lot of debate between what clothing I should wear. The morning was a little cold. I believe it was 37 when we were heading out, and for the day it was going to warm up to about 55, I think was the high. So yeah, settled on the thin tights, kind of my go-to. Love the thin tights. Can't get enough of the thin tights. Shout out Map for the thin tights. Finally settled on my wardrobe, which included Map's thin tights with the cargo pockets. So finally got all my stuff together. It's go time.
Sick. I think that's everything.
This is just for Carrie.
Don't act like this is your first time, dude. You want to put it in, make sure the angle's right?
Dude, if that makes it in, I'm gonna kick your ass.
Carrie's got his camera gear. Let's go get this FKT. Sorry, I don't want to say let's go get this FKT, because like, duh, I'm gonna get it. Oh, life in the desert. Got all my ducks in a row. Carrie's got his camera gear. SD cards are empty. It's time to go establish this FKT.
I think that makes the cut for sure.
Excuse me, teacher? I know the answer. Miss?
Go time. All right, let's go, girl.
Did you just say let's go, girl?
Yeah.
Dude, that's funny. I was thinking the same thing.
It'd be sick. Then we get a little Shania Twain quick drop.
It's not warm enough for shorts. You know, I think I can go no vest.
I think you could. Dude, we're never gonna start.
Gary goes to fire the moto up, and lo and behold, it won't start. It was a bit of a stressful moment in the morning.
Dude, we got nothing.
Did a little bit of YouTube research to find out what the problem was. Carrie had the bright idea of let's just give it a bump start and see what happens.
Wait till no cars are coming. That's probably a good idea. All right, ready? All right, this is Max, dude.
All right. Dude, it almost went.
I think we need more speed.
I do too. Should we try the truck?
I think we have to, because I can't get it any faster than that.
Dude, this is off to a great start.
Okay.
This time drug him up to 30, and that was enough to do it. At this point, we didn't know if Carrie could ever turn the bike off, but we figured we'll just send it, and what's the worst that can happen?
See you out there. That was awkward.
I knew how hard the second half of this route was. So I would say I started a little on the conservative side just to have some bullets left for the end. So yeah, as I left Patagonia, it was a bit of a headwind, the first 14 miles of pavement, which wasn't sweet. I knew as soon as I banged a left onto Gardner Canyon, I was going to be on some pretty fun terrain. I was really stoked to ride that. You get some really good views of Mount Wrightson early on there, which is neat. Fox Canyon, a lot of fun. Bit of a tailwind down it, so I was able to rip pretty fast through the washboards. The washboards are fun because the faster you go, the smoother it feels, so it's kind of a nice challenge to like push the pace a bit on the washboards and just get them over with. Elephant Head, I was looking forward to this section probably the most, just because I've ridden Elephant Head a few times now, but I've never ridden it like very fast. And it's one of those trails that I feel like the faster you ride it, the more you feel the flow and everything it offers. It is rocky, a couple mandatory hike-a-bike.
Nice!
Then it really opens up into the incredibly flowy single track. And you know, if you're not having a good time on those early pieces, I encourage you just to look up and take in the views. I reached the bottom or the end of the Elephant Head single track, and my average speed was sitting right around 18 miles an hour, which I was honestly a little surprised to see. I started the day and didn't really have like a concrete goal of how fast I wanted to go or what was possible. I kind of figured a good time would be between 5 and 5.5 hours. But on the Mount Hopkins climb, I did a little bit of mental math and kind of realized if I just kept the average speed above 16.5 miles an hour, I'd be able to do it in under 5. So sub 5 kind of became the goal from that point forward, and it was really motivating because it kind of switched me into race mode a little more, and it was just really fun to push Road 143, which will take you all the way back to Patagonia. Lots of steep, punchy, loose climbs, probably a few sections that you may end up walking. Eventually you'll see this burnt car. That's kind of always my signal that like, okay, I'm through the meat of Road 143. Once I got to the bottom and had 11 miles to go, I was definitely like the check engine light was starting to flicker here and there. But I knew, like, same thing, my average speed at that point was 16.4, so I knew if I could just crank it a little bit, sub 5 was still possible.
Patagonia sign. Right back there. I got it under 5 just by the hair of my chinny chin chin.
The final time for the FKT effort was 4:59.36.
Smashing big loops. Going ham sandwich out in the middle of the desert for no reason.
In the end, I was able to squeeze it in by like 24 seconds. So it just got under 5, which was pretty sweet. And even though I didn't really have a goal for the day, it felt good to, yeah, like accomplish a solid effort.
Dude, it sucks once you get through the chunk, because mentally you're like, all right, through the chunk, almost back to Patagonia. It's 11 miles of rollers still with like 1,000 feet of climbing.
All right, all said and done. So we got the FKT, which is also the OKT, but my hope is that other people who are visiting Tucson in the winter will head down and take on this challenge. Tucson's a melting pot of all kinds of different professional gravel cyclists and road cyclists and mountain bikers throughout the winter. So I really think this route is for anybody who comes down in the winter and just wants to take on a big fun challenge.